Hey, Garnet. All right, so here is this little series that I have got you doing. I'm going to send you a foam rolling video with this as well. But basically, what you're as far as the first thing we have you do is your foam rolling. You're going to sit on the foam roller like this. Hands are going to go back. We're going to get our glute by placing our ankle over our knee and then dropping the hip out to the side. You're going to roll into that space, right? 20 seconds maximum. Try to find where it feels tender. Then we'll straighten the leg. We'll go here, and you can get the front of the hip. Now, I know on your right side, it tends to be tender on your shoulder, so you just got to be a little careful. Hip, if you roll it down a little bit, you can get the outside of that leg. Then we roll to your thighs, hit your thighs, and then we turn around. We do the same thing on the other side. We'll go, outside leg, outside hip. We come back around, and we get this glute on the other side. Then we're going to do your back. You just got to get those lats. Again, kind of just roll in there. Just try to avoid the low back. Try to stay kind of on your torso, your rib cage, right? In between the shoulder blades. You can get in between the shoulder blades. Just don't do anything that's painful, but rolling it out 20 seconds or so in each spot. You could also get your calf muscles. That's just kind of get in there with that foam roller. If it's a really soft foam roller, it may not do a whole lot. You may have to kind of put more pressure, which can put a lot more pressure on your shoulder. So just be careful with that. But you can kind of get in here as well. Get the outside of that lower leg. That could be really helpful. Then we're going to work into your little warm-up series. Let me check your notes real quick. So we've got you doing, you're going to sit up on the foam roller. Now, again, if your roller may not necessarily be long enough, hopefully it is, but you're going to sit right on the end of that roller. And you could do this stuff on the floor too. The benefit to doing it on the roller is the roller's an unstable surface. So it makes it just a little bit more challenging on your core. The first thing we're going to have you do, let me slide down a little bit. Again, you're going to sit right on the end of that foam roller. We're going to put, so I got my tailbone in between my shoulder blades and the back of the head on the foam roller. I'm going to put a little bit of a tuck in my tailbone so my core is nice and engaged. Now, what we had you do, arms out to the side, you're anchoring into the side. You're going to bring your legs up. So just make sure you're nice and strong here. Exhale, right? So tail tucked. You're going to exhale, lower, tap your heel. Now, you want to start your inhale before you lift the leg. Exhale, lower. Start the inhale. Lift the leg. Exhale, lower. Start the inhale. Lift the legs. Exhale, lower. Now, if this starts to bother your back, it means we're losing that core. So again, just double down on that tailbone tuck. If it's still too much, what you can do is you can, same thing, but just from here, instead of lifting both legs, keep them on the floor. Start that inhale. Feel the expansion. Lift the foot. Exhale, lower. So this is just the regressed version. The big thing is that this is staying engaged and staying supported, that you're not arching your back as you extend that leg. Garnet, the next thing we're going to do is we're getting those light dumbbells. And what you're going to do from this position right here, so make sure your feet, the wider your feet are, the more stable you're going to be. So as this time goes on, right, you can always walk those feet a little closer. Make sure you're nice and stable at first. Again, keep that slight tuck in the tailbone so the core is nice and engaged. Start your inhale. Extend your arm. Exhale back. Start the inhale. Extend the opposite arm. Exhale back. Make sure these dumbbells are light. I think you're working with the 2s or the 3s in here, so keep it pretty light. I mean, you want it to be challenging enough, but what you don't want is to reduce your range of motion. So I want, if this is my natural range, I want to be able to mimic that with the weight that I choose. If it gets heavier and I'm having to start to reduce that range of motion, that the weight that I'm selecting is too heavy. The next thing we're going to do, Garnet, is you're going to do the one where you're going out to the side. So you may want to start off with a little bit wider base here. Start the inhale, feel the expansion, extend your arm, Exhale back. Same idea applies, right? We're keeping that tuck in the pelvis, keeping that core nice and engaged. The tendency is it's going to want to pull you over to the side. That's what you're trying to prevent. Again, if you want to make this more or less challenging, the closer we bring the feet, the harder it's going to be. The further we bring the feet apart, the easier it's going to be. Garnet, from there, we're going to come off the roller, and you're going to do these hip bridges. Now, Garnet, we used that band around your thighs, and you mentioned that you think your wife may have some of these mini bands. I think you mentioned that she has something like this, right? These mini bands. This will work. We use this guy. You don't need either, to be honest, but they can be helpful, right? Because what you're going to do, we're going to put that tuck in the tailbone. We're going to drive the hips up. And what I want to do here is I want to focus on my glutes. I want to drive my heels through the floor. You can even lift the toes if you want. And really focus on squeezing the butt at the top. Inhale, you're going to lower about midway. Exhale, drive the hips up. Inhale, lower midway. Exhale, drive the hips up. Now, Garnet, if you start to feel this in your low back, what we may just have you do is hold the position, keep a tuck in the tailbone, and see if you can find your glutes and see if you can breathe into this space. Also, if your hamstrings start to cramp, it means your feet are too far away. If you feel this mostly in your thighs, like a stretch on the way up, it means your feet are too close to the body. So the big thing is we're just trying to activate your glutes, your butt muscles. Go to a little bit of fatigue. Again, you may find that this repetitiously begins to actually cause your back to feel some discomfort. So you may even want to just hold it up there like you would a plank, put a tuck in the tailbone, and breathe into your sides like we do that ball breathing. And just keep driving through the heels, keep focusing on squeezing your glutes. This may be the better option for you right now. Garnet, let's see. So we got a bridge. And then from here, we're going to come on up. And you're going to do we're going to do something called the roller arm sweep. And what we did with this guy, I think your roller may be a little large for this, but let's see, it may not. This is where you're going to take your foam roller. You're going to put that foam roller at roughly eye level against a wall. We're going to take our wrist, place it on that foam roller in a neutral position, meaning the thumbs are pointing back towards you. You want to be about an arm's length away from the wall, no further. An arm's length away from the wall. Your feet. From here, we're going to, nice big inhale. As you exhale, you're going to extend up. And what you're just trying to gently do is encourage this overhead range of motion. Exhale, start your breath. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press. Start your inhale. Lower. Exhale, press. But if that's too much, you can always just exhale into the stretch. Just kind of exhale gently into the stretch. We're just trying to get that overhead mobility. Garnet, the next thing we're going to do is, I think you mentioned you got some TheraBands. Those mini bands work too. You're just going to do this guy. Real simple. They're called hitchhikers. It's band external rotation. A lot of PTs hand this exercise out. We're just trying to activate the muscles in the back, your rotator cuff muscles in the back of the shoulder. Honestly, I would even maybe do this before that roller arm sweep. The last two we're going to do, man, this is kind of your go-to warm-up. My go-to warm-up for you is we're going to do that toe touch. And we have you can use a chair, you can use a bench. This is where I love these benches because you can grab a hold of the seat. So anything you can kind of grab a hold of the seat and then just let your body release. Don't worry about straightening your legs. Keep a soft bend in your knees. We're trying to get your low back to soften here. Do a couple breaths here. If it feels good, you can lower on down. You can even grab a hold of your elbows. Let your body release here. Couple of breaths, 3 to 5 nice deep breaths. Then we're going to exhale, roll on up. Sometimes it feels good to do that a couple of times. Roll back on down. Couple of breaths. As you inhale, roll back up. Do that 2 to 3 times. The last thing we're going to have you do in your warm-up series, and again, this is something you can do at home, is grab a hold of a door frame, or or some kind of fixed surface that you can hang on to, and just come into a deep squat. Focus on your breath. And there you go, man. When you come up, just be nice and easy. Slowly roll on up. Garnet, I hope this is helpful. This is your warm-up series, your basic warm-up series. The other thing you can add in is that doorway pec stretch, right? Nice and easy. Elbow slightly below your shoulder, wrist slightly above your shoulder, but play around with that. For you, maybe a little higher may actually be a little bit better for you because it's going to open up the upper kind of pec fibers. Again, go into a little bit of a stretch and then focus on your breath to expand that rib cage. I would do that, like do your static stretching last. Hey, let me know what kind of equipment you have at home, because what we can do is we can, on the days, I'd love to see strength training like 2 to 3 days a week. I know we've been coordinating about 1 day a week. That seems to be about all we can get in. Let me know what you have at home, and what we can maybe do is put a plan together for you so the days that you're not in here, you know what to do. We get a small workout plan. You'll know what to do outside of here on your own. Hey, man, I hope this is helpful. I'll see you soon. Aloha.